Okay, welcome everyone. I'm glad you guys could pop on here. And again, like I said, it's gonna be quick. Well, I can't guarantee that because Corey's here, but it's gonna be quick-ish. Jaclyn's on here. Corey and I are looking to give you more, so give you more value to what you are already doing. I did also want to kind of comment in the fact that because it's becoming summer, it's going to be summertime. A lot of you are becoming stressed over your, let's say, strictness of your counting and weighing and blah, blah, blah. So I do want, now that I have you guys all here, I do want to comment and say, like, we just because the path has been perhaps you tracking macros for the last, let's say, 6 months, does not mean that that has to be the path in the summertime. Okay, we can change things up. We can make things less stressful. We can make things more fluid, more kind of flexible. So reach out to your coach. Make sure that you feel like, I want you to feel like you are confident in the path that you are going on for the next several months. So that's just a little thing that I was thinking about this morning. But because if you feel like we're not trying to do this like narrow path of strict numbers and hitting those numbers and thinking about weighing your food at a family barbecue, like, you guys know, this is for the long term. This is for eating healthy and making better choices. So if you go through summer making better quality choices and we decide to change to kind of an eyeballing situation or a portion sizing situation, that would be way more appropriate in some cases than trying to stick with something that is like being forced. So just my thoughts. Corey, do you have anything on that, or Jaclyn?
No, like I couldn't agree more. Like when summer's coming, make good choices, enjoy your food, don't overdo it, don't binge. That's it. Like you nailed it.
Yeah, and like just to get on, like it's all of that encompassing. It's like the stress of all of the worry of the events coming up. What should I eat? What shouldn't I eat? How should I eat? All of that leading up to your event is causing you also problems throughout your nutrition of the week. So more stress means more cravings, more lack of sleep. Believe it or not, if you're going to worry that much about it and it's that much on your mind, it will debilitate your week. And then when you get to that event, you're not at your 100%. So that's something just to be aware of, guys, and just enjoy the moment, be present of all those times, and just kind of just ease into it and you know what you need to do. Just do it with ease and be confident about it and make great choices, which builds confidence and self-esteem, and it just keeps snowballing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, Jaclyn. Were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say, just like if you know an event's coming up, fill your day with the foods that are really satiating and they keep you full. Like I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, I'm going to this event later, so I'm just like going to eat very little or like not eat a lot so that I can hit my macros. It's just going to send like your blood sugar on a roller coaster. It's probably going to make you crave more and you'll end up eating more. Just like eat how you normally would during the day, fill up on like some protein, things that keep you full, some veggies. And then when you're there, enjoy yourself. You probably won't overdo it at that point because you're satiated from the day. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Okay, so let's kind of talk about, I'm going to let Corey is the mastermind behind this, the mega mind behind this scenario. Okay. And see, he's like smiling ear to ear. He's ready. He's pumped. So he's gonna talk a little bit about this program that we are implementing for you guys, and then we'll get any questions, concerns, comments from you guys. But feel free to pipe up. Take yourself off mute. Dan's already off mute, just in case. Find the mute button. Okay, go ahead, Cor.
All right, guys. So as you can tell, like, you know, when we're in a group together, kind of like spearheading this, we all want to stick together. Even just in the gym, when you guys train together, you kind of always have that sense of camaraderie and we're all into it together. And it kind of just brings consistency and like-minded people together. So a lot of this was stemmed from, you know, me and Dani we're always getting the same amount of questions all the time, either if you're new or if you're you know, you've been going for a very long time and you know a lot. So even the members in Fuel that have obviously been for a long time, as a community, we get together and we can help each other. Just like when you're in the gym, sometimes you guys help the new people that come in, show them corrective movement, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of the same thing. So we're trying to create a little more community around nutrition, because it's such a big topic and it's such a confusing one at times. So where we're going here is, you know, we're going to call this like the fuel tank. All right. So it's a bunch of us together, kind of just hanging out, having a little bit of, maybe we'll have some challenges in there and whatever. But for the most part, you're going to get like a weekly newsletter. You know, me and Jack and Dani will kind of put together once a week. We'll have something for you guys. Just tidbits of information that is good knowledge. And even if you guys have any questions as well, always put them in the group so we can kind of like pick up some topics. Cause again, like it's so open-minded. So big. So if there's something that we can like talk about, it will lead us into a direction of where we might want to go with the group. Okay. And what we could do is in that group there'll be PDF files. So you guys can take a look at and go back. It's not like you'll miss it. So like if, for example, we talked about meal timing or something like that, you can go back to that PDF and just kind of take a look and take some notes for yourself.
Yeah, so sorry, Corey, everything will be in Trainerize, guys, because of that fact. So we're going to have a group, which most of you are in. So I started my own clients in this group for a while, and then now we're going to revamp it. So we're going to put Corey's clients, when Jaclyn is the newbie. So if you guys are interested or you know someone who wants to do nutrition, Jaclyn is currently, why don't you tell everyone what you're doing in school right now?
Yeah, so for the past 2.5 years, I've been in school to be a nutritionist. So I have about 6 months left. I have some clients on the side that I have through school. So I have been doing this for a bit, but like Dani and Corey have a little bit more experience working like one-on-one with everyone. Typically what we do in school is a lot of like addressing symptoms and everyday, like, I'll call them symptoms, like dealing with your nutrition and your symptoms and your lifestyle to kind of just create wholeness. So, you know, if you have fatigue, if you have bloating, if you have digestive issues, like addressing the root cause and then going from there. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be done in about 6 months and I'll be a registered nutritionist. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jaclyn. We're happy to have your knowledge. So go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, and then so you'll get that, guys, the newsletters, and then we'll have something like some protocols. So for example, like typical, like we just talked about, like oh, I got a night out, you know, what are simple steps to do quickly that day of, or something, just a guideline so you guys can go back and take a look at. It's something simple. Remember, it's a group for everybody. Everybody is different. So you do something specific, you'll have to reach out to your coach, obviously. But in the group, you'll have something just to rely and go back on and just kind of have a guideline for yourself. Okay?
Yeah, so we'll get those newsletters out weekly. So we'll probably rotate between the three of us. So get a little bit of different kind of perspective on things. But also feel free to like ask questions if Jaclyn writes something out and you're like, okay, this, I've never heard of this before. What does that mean? Then she can speak to it, or Corey or myself. So we want that open communication of a group chat within Trainerize as well. So everything is kind of like in there. It's not necessarily like, it's very similar to a Facebook page or Facebook group, but it's just going to be on the same app that you use already. And I've already adjusted some settings too, because I think having a ton of notifications, one is like, if you have tons of notifications on your phone, that should be your first step, is to turn them off. But that's an aside. Having everything notify in one group is kind of challenging and gets to be frustrating. So I've changed the settings on that. We're going to have the group chat in there. We're going to have those, like Corey said, the PDF files, so that it's like a library. So if you do go in Trainerize, you will notice that there is a list on the right-hand side. Has anyone seen that list before of like, it's different stuff. So if you go into your own trainer eyes, you'll see on the list on the right, and I think it might be on your computer, of different workouts, or it could be like something we've added before, some type of document before. Does anyone use it on their computer? Probably not. Okay, try it. Try to use it on your computer. See if you can see that side note, and then we will go from there too. Okay, Corey, what's next? So weekly newsletter.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that and see if it's on my phone. Anyways, okay, so week newsletter, a little bit of protocols for you guys. On to that. So also with the newsletter, whatever, really quick, videos. I'm a video guy. Sorry, guys. We'll probably put some YouTube links, or we'll make a YouTube and possibly have those links for you guys to follow up with. So maybe videos, and then with the PDF. So onto that, you guys, obviously being a group, I just touched on it a little bit. You're going to have some, motivation, accountability with everybody. Like Dani said, we're going to shut off all the notifications, but it's your responsibility. Well, it's kind of nice to go in there and just kind of skim through and what the message has been, because like there's stuff that's going to come through there, and it, may hit you, be like, oh, that's interesting, and go through it. So it's just to keep each other, to have support, right? So we're all there for each other as well. So if one person's struggling a little bit, we can always pick them up. So we're to come together as a group, and that's also a part of this fuel tank. Also, like, truly, guys, you're not going to get the bullshit nutrition stuff. Okay. There's a lot out there. So this is where the group is going to be nice, because we're going to be able to filter out a lot of like the stuff that's said. Now, listen, we have to take everything, take some of it, none of it, or all of it. So like, just take bits and pieces of what you want, and we'll have just some good knowledge for you guys, not just overwhelm you with just crazy things, because there's so much out there. So no bullshit, no BS, no fad diet garbage. You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, if there's anything that you guys are wondering, like, I know I get questions from clients about, like, oh, I've heard about these raspberry ketones. Should I be, buying those, or like supplements and stuff? Like, ask. We are here to answer your questions. And if you're thinking it, then someone else is thinking it. So if you're wondering, like, why are they selling EAAs at the gym, or why do they only sell New Zealand 100% whey isolate? Why, right? Like, if that's something that you're wondering about, takes 2 seconds, just write it in the chat, or so that everyone can see it, so that everyone has the ability to have us 3 coaches rather than just 1 coach.
And understand, guys, that like, we're here for you. And if there's any questions that are not clear, just put it in, and then we'll kind of help. And Google does a good job too. But then again, your guys are going to get some good stuff from us. All right.
Tony's not in this group either. So the question is a stupid question.
Got it. You got it. That's right. I love it. Okay, guys. So on to that, like, we also starting to realize here with nutrition, it's not just the food we eat, it's the mental aspect around it. Okay. So Jaclyn's really good at stuff like this. We all are. We're going to get like, we're going to create good relationships with food. This is where our group needs to come together. Okay. And that's the basic behind it all. We need to have a good relationship. We understand how a good relationship flourishes with one another. It's the same thing with food. Okay. We need to create good relationship. You got to enjoy it and have fun with it. There's ups and downs, but having our mind clear when we're eating or bringing nutrition into our lives is what it is. So I know we preach this all the time, but then again, you're going to get some tactics, some motivation, some stuff like that. And we'll deal around the mindset aspect of nutrition as well in there. Those are like the highlighted things we want to touch on.
And that's also part with what we've been doing lately with like habits and stuff. Like, for the most part, if you ask anyone who's successful in nutrition for over a long period of time, it's going to be someone who has changed their mindset on food and what it can do for you, instead of someone who could just follow directions and is like strong arming it through their macros. So like, anyone, well, not anyone, but a lot of people can just eat what is required of them for a period of time. After a while, that becomes a point where you're like, if I eat another fucking chicken breast, I am going to snap on not only my family, but the mailman, the lady at Shoppers. I'm going to crash my car into a wall somewhere. So that's not what we're looking for here. I mean, I'm not anyways. I feel like we need to change the dialogue about how can we be successful over the long term? And being successful over the long term requires changing our mindset and our habits so that we change things day to day. And then we incorporate all those foods that we love. Like, listen, Jaclyn's talking about a breakfast she eats 4 days a week, at least, that she loves. I'm sure at some point she'll be like, okay, I'm going to change this up a little bit. But
I've been there.
Then if you like it, great. If you like it, then eat it.
And a big part, guys, like, and it's pretty much wrapped up there, but I want to let you guys know that, like, even it's not so much what we eat, it's we have, I find that a lot of the questions come up is like, how do we prepare these meals? How do we, we're going to become better in the kitchen is where we need to become strong at. And like, some people have tips on like how do you prepare this meal? We'll put like certain meals in there, or how do you add some protein to this? And like, or how do you prepare your meals? Like, everybody has strategies, and this is where the group comes together. Like, yes, me, Jaclyn, and Dani, we've done this for a long time, but yeah, guys, we're still learning too. So we all got to come together and kind of just like, wow, that's a great idea. That's a good idea. That's a good menu. That's a good spice combination with this, combination with that. It's like, that's where we're going to kind of thrive and become stronger, because now we have all these minds. And don't be shy to post up something that you think that's legit enough, because believe it or not, like, you're probably on the right path because you have guidance from me, Dani, and Jaclyn. So like, to be honest, if you're going to help someone out, go for it. Don't be shy to chime in, put a video up, talk, have some fun.
And I think most of you, whether you've been doing it for a while or you're just starting, you have an interest in this. And even if it's to change your life around food, or even if it's just become an interest and a passion, like, I'm going to assume that you're like, Nat, your husband doesn't want to hear about like your macros and stuff. So you don't really have anyone to talk to. So this group is a good way to kind of nerd out with each other. And like Corey said a bunch of times, like, it's your community. So this is the group that you guys can start talking about, I added this to my protein pancakes, or I did this and this, just like he said. So like, use each other as your crutch to talk about these things and nerd out over it, because your family doesn't care, unfortunately. I know.
And you guys can talk about this in the gym. It's nothing to be hidden from. Like, this is, you guys, you pay an additional to do fuel, to have a one-on-one, and this is where the group is. But don't, it's okay. We don't need to be secluded. We're not secluded from the gym. We're all together. We're in the same community, and let us all come together. And you could talk about it there too, or whatever. It's not secret. It's not a secret. It's just, we're gonna kind of narrow down our nerdiness. Okay.
We're gonna get some secret fuel group shirts made. Secret.
All right.
Yeah. So I think also, like, just to give you an idea for things that Corey touched on about a newsletter, it's just stuff that we're weeding through for you. We're weeding through like all the garbage to make sure that you're getting the important information that we think would apply to you. Because I'm not sure if anyone really pays attention to, like, when you're reading an article, like, okay, but who is this article directed to, and who are they doing these studies on? Like, you need to be aware that, like, a lot of studies are done on males because males are easy. Not a lot of studies are done on females because females are at different cycles of their life for their entire life. So just knowing that, and knowing that reading an article typically is probably the study was done on men, and they're kind of giving it out to the masses. But does that necessarily apply to you? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't at all. Maybe you need to make sure that. So anyways, we are here to ensure that, like, we are very blunt about it. We are telling you exactly kind of like what's worked for us as well, what we've tried and what has been successful, not successful. So so that you don't get like that grocery store, you know, you're waiting to pay for your groceries and you're looking at the Dr. Oz magazine, or you're looking at the like Cosmo magazine and you're like, everything is like fat free this, fat loss this, well, we're all looking to become more powerful, right? We're all looking to become, you know, people who live forever. So to me, those headlines, they're directed at people who are like, oh, I would love to read about that, but you guys are smarter than that. So we want to give you the stuff that actually matters, that you're actually going to use. Okay, we are gonna finish this up in the next 4 minutes, but please take yourself off mute if you have any questions or thoughts. And also, if you have anything that you can think of off the top of your head that you've been thinking about, so maybe we can address it kind of off the top and talk about it like while it's current in your brain.
Also with that, guys, maybe we'll try to do maybe some Zooms like this as well. Maybe once a month, or we'll see how this rolls. But I'd like to maybe get us together like this, talking one-on-one too, maybe once in a while. So that might be also an option inside our group. Yeah,
for sure. I love doing Zooms. During COVID, the beginning, we did a lot of Zoom talks. I think it was like Fridays, and we went over lots of nutrition information. So that seemed to work. It was kind of a steady group of similar people, but it was good because it was people who wanted to be there. So if you're someone who wants to be there, we could certainly make those happen. Jaclyn, anything?
Maybe even a field trip. Who knows, guys?
Where?
I don't know. We could go. Anybody got a kitchen? We can go whip up something nice. I'm just kidding.
That's a good call. We'll do a field trip at some point. Corey's not planning it, but don't worry.
It's Jody here. Can anybody hear me?
Hi, Jody. Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Jody.
I am not on camera because I am driving.
Okay.
Hi, Jody.
Hi. I addressed this briefly with Corey. Not that he didn't do a great job answering, but I still can't get my brain past it. So I will address it here. I am petrified to eat all the macros. So talk me through this. Corey, I'm sorry. I know you already talked to me about it, but I need to hear it again.
Somebody else do it.
He's like, I'm done with her. Somebody else.
I love you, Jody. I love you. Listen, I'm going to not talk and let everyone else do this. There is probably, I would say, who's on here right now? Honestly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people right now can guarantee answer this question. They were sitting probably in the same.
Hey, good, because then I want to be the 7th. So talk to me.
Go.
Okay, is anyone in that same group? Has anyone ever felt that way? Like, you can even raise your hand if you don't want to take yourself off mute. Have you ever felt, even especially at the beginning, like when you saw the food or when you started to eat it, if you've ever done a 6WT, has anyone ever felt like, oh my God, this is so much food. How am I going to get to my goals if I eat this much food? Okay, we got some head nods, Jody. So you're in
Thank you.
Good company.
Before we answer, Jody, what's your fear around it? Like, you have fear, but what is it? What are you afraid of?
Oh, I'm just afraid I'm going to gain more weight. Like, I'm already I'm up 22 pounds from where I want to be, and they're not good pounds. Like, it's right. So I'm afraid I'm going to gain even more.
When you gained weight, were you eating more or less food? And was that food good food? Like, would you call it whole foods and nutritious foods?
Good God, no. There was a lot of chocolate and a lot of wine in there. I'm not going to lie about that. But still, I mean, generally speaking, my diet it's fairly clean. Now, I also know that, like, for me, fairly's not good. I've got to be 110% if I'm going to see results. But realistically, most of the food that I eat, my meals are good. It's the snacking, and a wine was like my best friend this last year. And I'm not going to lie, this last week, it's been a little bit more of my friend again. I've had a bit of a tough week. So, yeah, I'm having a hard time giving up on that.
Well, wine is delicious. So we can't fault you on that. Jaclyn will agree with you on that too.
Agreed. I think you kind of answered your own question. Like, you gained weight and you weren't eating the right foods and you weren't eating at the right times, and you probably had a lot of stress going on in your life. So you're probably afraid to hit your macros because it seems like more, but it's all going to be the right food, and it's going to be the energy that sustains you. And I think eventually, once you go like even 2 weeks in, you'll realize that you're not super full, but you're not hungry. Like, you're just, you're sustained. Your body needs that energy and that food, and especially to like your nutrients, like whether it's your vitamins, your minerals, your protein, your fats, your carbs, they all serve a purpose in your body to create, whether it's your hormones or it aids in your neurotransmitters. So to get all those things rolling, you need the appropriate amount of food. So even if you're someone like me who suffers with like brain fog, mood disorders, highs and lows in your mood, not getting the appropriate amount of nutrients and not enough of it is going to hinder you from even not just your weight loss goals, but like your cognitive function and then how your body actually reacts. So it's like, just trust the process, give yourself a couple weeks, and sometimes too, don't even think of like the scale and your weight. Think of like your energy levels and if you're a little bit more sharper and focused. So think of those nutrients as like aiding in how your body properly functions.
Yeah, I definitely think Jaclyn hit the nail on the head when she said about changing what you're thinking about. So I know that my words with clients are never like there's the only time I ever ask about weight, for instance, is when I'm trying to determine, okay, like how much should you be eating, or how much are you eating, kind of that scenario. But it's never about like, that's never what it's about. It's always questions about energy, strength in the gym, sleep, stress. It's all about that, the symptoms, or like the symptoms of life. So I think that Jaclyn's right. If you can at the very least, maybe even teach yourself like getting a notepad or something and write down those things. So write down energy, sleep, blah, 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 and then rate it, or write a note or something, journaling about stuff like that. Then at least your mind won't always automatically go to, well, what's my weight, and like how do my jeans fit? Well, let's take that, like the aesthetics out of it, or like obviously the scale weight out of it, and let's shift that over. So you have no choice. If you're not writing down like weight today, we don't care about that. We care about all of those extra things, like how is my brain functioning, and how am I lifting in the gym? Am I feeling like I'm full of energy, or am I not? And regardless of whether it's good or bad, you're writing it down and you're journaling and you're noticing, because then you're basing your observations off of those foods that you've been eating, and then your mindset kind of slowly changes to like, if it's busy thinking about this, then it's not busy thinking about the nonsense.
All right. Thank you.
All right, can I add to this, Jody? Because I let everyone talk. I've been biting my lip here.
Sure.
All right, listen up, guys. So this is straight to the point. So if you think about it, for how long have you been trying to, let's say, I hate this term, lose weight? How long?
Are you asking me personally?
Yeah, Jody. Yeah. How long? Give me a number.
Honestly, 30 years.
Okay. So in those 30 years, I can almost guarantee you cannot keep doing what you're doing, because you're continuously gaining weight. So what do we call insanity, right? They say that terminology, continuously doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Well,
Yep.
It's time to do something different that you don't feel that's right, but you have guidance to tell you it's the right way. Okay. So we need to do something different. It's not hammering home the same thing. hammering home restriction, because it's just less does not mean more. It's just going to keep you going down the path you're going. So if you're afraid, that's normal, because you're going down a path that's scary, unknown, and never traveled. All right. So that's where growth lies. Okay. That's with everything in life: nutrition, fitness, ongoing. That's where the key is. So keep saying that to yourself. And if you're afraid, that's a good thing. Lean into that shit, and it's going to get to where you want to be. Trust.
Okay.
Got you.
I will.
That's love, Jody. That's love right there. Everyone's doing a great job. And I'm proud of everybody, even just getting in this group and like coming together, all of us. And you guys listening in on this right now, I know there's some people that's been doing nutrition for a solid few years. Let's help each other out. Let's lean on each other. And it'll make you feel, and this is why I'm in this industry to begin with. This is why I do what I do, because it inspires me to do better, helping you guys. It keeps me in line too. That's total transparency. So understand that me teaching you helps me as well through my nutrition background, through me trying to be the best shape I can ever be, is helping you as well. So let's get together and let's see how that works.
Okay, so please, everyone, I'm going to be adding every single person to this list if you're not already there. Please put something in the chat. So put something about, like, I don't care. Put something, anything. You can put a question. You can put something about yourself. You can put a recipe. You can put anything. So that's your kind of job over the next week, is to make some type of a comment within the chat, whether it's in answering a question, whether it's asking a question. And also, like we talked about off the hop, if there are things that kind of come up and you want to talk to your coach about it, that's what we want. We want the dialogue to kind of get your brains going and make you think a little bit more about, perhaps just kind of, we end up kind of with a tunnel vision when we do things over and over and over and over and over again, and we're kind of ignoring this and ignoring that. Let's open up our minds to learning more and just getting better and better and healthier as every day progresses. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Jaclyn and Corey, for joining me. And I will post this recording. If you have someone who's interested, maybe we can get them put into this group as well to kind of learn a little bit more too. So if you have a friend who is interested in learning more about nutrition, isn't sure if they want to get a coach yet, that can be a way to kind of get them in the door also. Okay. Happy long weekend, guys.
Good job, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Dani, Corey, and Jaclyn. Happy weekend.
Happy long weekend.
Yeah, you too, guys.
Hang on, guys. Don't go anywhere. Or Dani, or okay.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Perfect. Jaclyn pieced out.
Hang on, I'm going to stop recording.